Good morning to everybody, except for Ron Francis. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. I wonder how many people would have made the trip to Toronto in November. Maybe the NHL is going to have the Canes play that night. Maybe that's why he didn't get in, because they told the Hockey Hall of Fame voters, we're going to put Carolina on TV that night, and it's going to be national TV, and we just can't have Rod Brind'Amour in the Hall of Fame ceremony. But I wonder how many of you would have made that trip to Toronto. I love Toronto, by the way. Great city. Great metropolitan city. It is Canada's equivalent of New York City, as close as you can possibly get when it comes to stature. But just a really cool city.
I said yesterday afternoon, once the news broke, I'm boycotting the city of Toronto.
You're not going to Toronto
and the Hockey Hall of Fame until Rod Brind'Amour is inducted.
Oh, it's a great city.
They're not getting my loonies and toonies to get in there.
There you go, loonies and toonies. There you go. Little coins, by the way. He's talking about coins. So Rod doesn't get the call yesterday. Hockey Hall of Fame. Patrice Bergeron, we felt that was kind of a slam dunk. Carey Price gets in. I just felt like yesterday I was watching him in goal. Pekka Rinne. The builder categories, Brian Burke, Cindy Curley, and then Keith Tkachuk got in as well. So the Tkachuks will be having quite the November. The Tkachuks have had quite the last couple of hours, or couple of days, which is what we were hoping for Rod Brind'Amour. Certainly for Justin Williams. Justin Williams was also up for Hall of Fame consideration. And first-timer Eric Stahl as well. We don't want to, there are Hurricanes.
Justin Williams is not getting into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I hate to break it to and I'm a fan. Obviously, I'm a fan of Justin Williams. Loved watching him. He was Mr. Game 7, iconic, but he's not going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Okay. So we'll talk about Rod then. Rod doesn't get in where we felt like the Winds, if they were going to blow in the most correct way possible, and they were blowing in the Canes' direction, it was going to be his year. But it feels like the separation between player and builder, as they call it. Builders are mostly coaches, front office executives when it comes to the Hockey Hall of Fame. In the builder category, it feels like that's where Rod Brind'Amour's best chance will come in. Now, let's talk about the idea that he has back-to-back Selke trophies. We know the resume of Rod Brind'Amour. Yet he just still can't get in. And I get the arguments about, and even the Carolina Hurricanes said, what more can he do? And he's raised a cup, right? He raised a cup as a coach. When the Hockey Hall of Fame decides to just make it just 6 people, not declare by gender, not declare by status within the NHL if they were a referee or a team owner or whatever. The NFL's hey, here it is. And then the Hockey Hall of Fame could go old school as well. They could implement an old school category, like dudes that were passed by, that are no longer on the ballot or eligible or played 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever. They could make those changes. It's not impossible for them to do. You know why? Because they have the power to do it. There's no outside vote. There's no outside lobbying that has to happen at the Hockey Hall of Fame, which I've been to. It's a really cool facility. When you go and make these decisions as part of the Hockey Hall of Fame, understand that you can make change for the positive. There has to be an evolution when it comes to the Hockey Hall of Fame vote. Now, sour grapes, and, again, we were having the run of our lifetimes here locally. Canes fans, you could see no wrong, do no wrong. Sweeps, street rallies. We're coming off the parade, which drew about 1 million people. Hoisting Stanley Cups. Rod Brind'Amour, Hall of Fame candidates, taking off his shirt. Andrei Svechnikov's taking off his shirt. By the way, Jordan Martinook, when he was on stage, he was wearing the Durham Bulls Canes collab. I'm not sure a lot of people picked up on that one. That was the Durham Bulls uniform when they did Canes Night. It looked kind of small on him, to be honest. Maybe he borrowed Stankoven's, because Stankoven was there too. But he was wearing the Bulls thing. On stage, he's yelling out the Mr. Svechnikov thing. Apparently, he doesn't do that anymore. He pulled that one out for the parade. So if you listen to it here on The Fan, if you saw it in person, that was a rare pull. That was a shiny Pokemon more than anything else. Anyway, I digress. So Rod doesn't get into 2026. Next year's 2027 class includes everybody that was eligible for induction. So Eric Stahl is still part of this. Phil Kessel is still part of this. Vincent Damphus, Getzlaff. There are 3 names next year that he will have to go up against. They aren't necessarily the strongest, but they all come with accolades. Atop that list, Joe Pavelski, who was being rumored for a head coaching job at some point here in the near future of the NHL. Pavelski, a beloved San Jose Shark. But when it comes to resume, there's not much more else on it other than longevity and that he's a career leader with the Sharks. Now, for the Sharks, to get somebody into the Hockey Hall of Fame, there's something to be said about that. There's a hat tip that could be coming. Another name that may not be like earth-shattering, and I'm not sure it is too, but there could be some backdoor politicking on this one, TJ Oshie. TJ Oshie is eligible for the Hockey Hall of Fame induction. The other one might be tough to keep out, but we just talked about Claude Lemieux not getting in this year. His recent death, obviously, during the Stanley Cup playoffs. Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Gaudreau is a first-time ballot for the Hockey Hall of Fame coming up. That could be one of those twisty-turny votes when it comes down to that room, which, and I heard you yesterday with Tim, Max, you guys talked about transparency in the vote and making sure that, hey, if you're going to vote for guys, vote for women, we should know exactly when those names come up, who's raising their hands. Because it doesn't feel like there's a very big group in that room. It looks like they surround a very small set of conference tables in a hotel. That if those names get put out there, and they will be put out there, along with the others that are on this list, I just mentioned Eric Stahl and Getzlaff, Cujo, Claude Lemieux, those names come up. So if the call's going to come, it should come next year for Rod based on, I don't think those 3, and Gaudreau's highlights are much stronger in college than they were professionally, although he played fully professionally. I'm not taking away from that. TJ Oshie did not play a full season towards the end of his career. Like the last 8 years of his career, I believe his game high was maybe 50, 52 tops. Like he was not on the ice as much as he could have been. You go up against those in 2027. It feels like the case, even though we all wanted the landslide of Carolina Hurricanes goodness to happen this year, the cases might be better next year for him.
Yeah. I mean, when you consider, like, I think out of the group that you just mentioned, probably Joe Pavelski would have the best chance, just because he's up on some leaderboards in terms of American players in hockey history.
All-time American.
Like, and when you're talking about Americans, you talk about TJ Oshie, like, take away the one shootout in a non-medal game in 2014.
Right.
And it ultimately didn't matter, and they didn't win gold in that or silver, I don't think. Or did they even win bronze in that Olympics in 2014?
In 14?
I don't even know if they medaled at all. If they did, it was a bronze. Take away that one shootout that he won, again, not in a medal game. TJ Oshie's profile as an NHL player is, like, it's good, but it's not Hall of Fame. It's not even close. It's less than 700 points in 1,010 games. So if the committee's putting in TJ Oshie over Rod Brind'Amour, there is a serious issue going on up there in terms of the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they didn't win, by the way, in 14. They were 4th, lost to Philly.
Yeah, they didn't even medal in that. And again, the shootout was an early round game. Didn't really matter as much. So, I think Nicholas Backstrom, he may be eligible for the first time as well in 2027. That's like him and Pavelski are 2 in terms of new candidates that I actually think would have a decent chance. But, I mean, how many years in a row can we have this conversation? Rod Brind'Amour surely getting in next year.
When's the next year?
I know. Next year comes.
The next year, I know.
Next year comes, he doesn't get in. Well, definitely next year. Like, look at these people that are eligible next year. Surely he'll get in. Doesn't get in. Okay, well, next year it's really a weaker class. So it definitely then he's going to get in. And he just doesn't. So I don't know if it's personal politics. I don't know if it's just them not valuing what he brought to his career, like what he brought to the league. I understand that he wasn't a consistent, like, point per game plus goal scoring threat, but I mean, he had seasons with 90-plus points. He had those high-scoring seasons, and then he also had seasons of great defensive play, great two-way play.
He has a captaincy and a cup.
You want to reward Patrice Bergeron, and I'm going to preface this.
You had to.
I'm going to preface this by saying Patrice Bergeron 100% deserving of getting in. If you want to reward Patrice Bergeron for being this great two-way defensive center, Well, Rod Brind'Amour had a better faceoff percentage than Patrice Bergeron in his career. I understand he won 6 Selkies. Who was he going up against in terms of, getting those awards in the mid 2010s? There wasn't really anybody of that caliber for him to compete with in terms of winning those Selke trophies. Again, they were well deserved, and he is a deserving Hall of Fame player. But if you're going to put him in, it's the same idea of putting Rod Brind'Amour in. You could have put them both in. You could have put them both in and let Pecorine wait another year. There was no need to put Pecorine in this year. Again, good goaltender for many years. Did he need to be put in the Hall of Fame before Rod Brind'Amour, who had almost 1,200 points in the NHL?
Well, they're saving him.
Played for forever.
They're getting
captained
it out of
his
the
team
way.
to a cup.
This is the politicking that comes along with this, Max. They're getting the goalies off the board now. In 2028, they're going to focus only on one. That's when Marc-Andre Fleury comes up for HOF. And they're going to have him own that class.
Yes, he will be in.
He will own that class for goalies. So they're clearing the goaltenders now. That's why. If we're going to go conspiracy and we're going to talk about politicking, they're looking ahead. They're looking ahead. The hands are going up. But as they see the Marc-Andre Fleury's last game, 2025, we all saw it. Everyone's like, hey, you should come back. No, he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. He wants his kids to see him go in, and he deservedly so. Flower was amazing. Seeing him do the goalie thing in person, it was like watching Magic Johnson play basketball, like watching Kobe Bryant play basketball. He was just that good.
I'm Max Goren with 3 things you need to know right now from 99.9 The Fan. UNC baseball could not secure their first national championship in Omaha last night as they were blown out by Oklahoma 13-2 in Game 3 of the College World Series Finals. It was the first appearance for Caden Glover to result in a loss for the Tar Heels this season. UNC was previously 29-0 in games featuring the star freshman pitcher. Giannis Antetokounmpo has finally been traded. The Miami Heat are acquiring Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis from the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for Tyler Hero, Kalel Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparis Yakachonis, and a haul of draft picks. One of the picks acquired by Milwaukee is number 13 overall in tonight's first round. The NBA's future stars will find their new homes tonight in the first round of the 2026 NBA Draft. Duke's Cameron Boozer and UNC's Caleb Wilson are expected to be drafted in the top 5 picks. Hear every pick of the draft right here on 99.9 The Fan. The Washington Wizards are on the clock at 8 p.m. For all the latest news on your favorite teams, download the 99.9 The Fan app or visit 999thefan.com.
The NHL's no movement clauses in contract mean very little. Kind of useless these days because players now have taken it upon themselves to put those clauses, and kudos to their agents for being smart in doing so. But still, when it comes down to it, can come out and say, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. I'd like to be traded somewhere else. And this is what the NBA has been dealing with for years, and it's been an accepted kind of thing, and now with the NHL starting this, the NHL is going to have to accept it too. And it may not be about elimination of the no-move clause, but it's probably more about the acceptance that players are now taking control of their careers beyond money. They want to play for championships and will do so before their contracts run out. It's a minefield of legalese when it comes to hockey and contracts. Restricted free agency without being able to negotiate, arbitration, unrestricted free agency but limited now on years, time served, minimum salaries, salary caps that keep growing, which in the last 2 years and will continue to do so more, lower playing and lower paid players who are like achieving well above their pay grade will end up getting rewarded probably way beyond their pay grade until NHL GMs figure it out. We saw it just happen in Ottawa, where now there's a discussion about, and I don't believe it's true, but maybe, Max, you might think differently. I don't believe Florida created a super team by bringing in Brady Tkachuk at all. I don't think that's a super team. That's just a move to get a couple of guys to play together and maybe recreate a little bit of magic. But I don't call the Florida Panthers, and I know y'all can hate on this, a super team because of that.
No, the addition of Brady Tkachuk, who scored, 60 points in the regular season last year. I don't think that makes them a super team. I mean, it helps them kind of, load up a little bit.
Bulky and bigger.
And it makes them, honestly, kind of slower on that second line because, the two Kachucks and Sam Bennett, that's going to be a gritty line for sure and tough to deal with. But if you have a team where skating is a strength, like the Carolina Hurricanes, that speed is going to be a factor in that matchup, and you'll have the advantage in terms of that. I don't think it's a super team. Now, are they going to bounce back in a big way after a pretty disappointing season where they were ravaged by injuries? I certainly expect them to bounce straight back into the playoffs. But the division got tougher around them as well. I mean, Buffalo had a big year, finally broke through, won the division, 109 points. Tampa, continues to be solid despite the first-round exits, had a good season. Montreal is really buzzing with all that young talent. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for Florida to just come back in and overtake the division again. But again, they added what they really thrive doing. They added more of that kind of physicality and rough and tumble.
Yeah, dig that puck
to
out
their
of the
roster.
corners and win those battles.
Yeah, and that's the way that they were able to power through the playoffs. But again, you have to be able to balance that out with some speed and skill. So no, I wouldn't call them a super team by any stretch of the imagination. Like this is not the 2002 Red Wings that beat the Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup final with like 11 Hall of Famers on their roster. It's a very, very good team, and again, expect them to bounce back, but I think super team is a bridge too far.
It for me too. I wonder, and this is an absolute hypothetical. There's not a lot of basis behind this one, but knowing that Connor Hellebuck wants out of Winnipeg, do you think Nick Ehlers has placed that call and said, I know you're under contract. I'm not sure what your no movement clause looks like because everyone, again, this is the convoluted no trade list, 10 teams, 15 teams, 20 teams. 4 teams I'll pick kind of thing. Knowing that he wants out, at least that's kind of what we think of with all these Team USA guys opting out. Do you think Nick Ehlers or maybe Eric Tulski's, kind of, hey, you're pretty good. You're pretty good between the pipes, and we probably could use a little bit of superstar there because we got the room for you. Do you think he makes that call? Do you think he's made that call? Is the question.
I think, considering they have 2 goaltenders signed
Winnipeg
for a combined under $4 million against the cap next year, I don't think that the Hurricanes are in any rush to commit whatever it is that I think Hellebuck makes like something like 8.5 or
8.
Yeah, it's something in that range. He also is coming off his worst season of his career.
Well, come on, where was he playing?
Yeah, I understand that they didn't have a very
Jets.
good year.
Winnipeg Jets are coming off their worst season.
But if you also look at his last 3 playoff runs, 886 save percentage, 864 save percentage with a 5.23 goals against in that run, by the way, and then an 866 save percentage with a 308. So he has consistently underperformed in the biggest moments in the playoffs. And again, considering the cap implications of that, I don't think that's a move that Carolina's really looking at.
Well, do you want him to go to Florida?
No, but they can't afford it either.
No, they can't, and they don't have Sergei Bobrovsky under contract at all, which is just wild to me that there's not an extension in place or that there's not like is this about?
He also had a terrible year this year, and he's 38 years old.
Who played in front of him?
I know that as well, but he's just aging. His prime's done.
Alex Ovechkin's aging too, and he still scored 82 goals last season. I mean, he did. I mean, at least that's what you're felt. There were 1 million people at the parade on Saturday. I'm just saying, Raleigh police come out, issue the statement. Come out and say there were 550,000 at the parade on Saturday, and you kept everybody in line.